What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm back. Finally. Um, I'm excited to be back for season 5, episode 3. Yo, do you know what today is?
Today's our anniversary for one
It's
year.
our anniversary. A whole year. A whole year. So, for those of you who don't know, you should know by now. I'm Danny. That's my girl Terry. We're the hosts of Hits and Heels. We're waiting on Mr. Coach Bryant to come on. He's in the background somewhere doing something. I don't know where he is.
He's coming. He's coming.
So what's going on, Terry?
Nothing much, nothing much, nothing much. Welcome back. We've missed you.
Well, listen, I thought I was gonna get fired at first. I was like, let me get back on track. But it's a new beginning down here, and I'm excited. Got man, finally, finally getting settled. So it's nice to be back in the saddle. I'll say that.
Okay, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. It was a good week of football done started. I don't know where you want to start this week. Football done started.
Football. I mean, obviously, the top story coming out is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Tore his Achilles.
Man, 4 plays in.
Yeah.
4 plays
So
in.
unfortunate for him.
It is. It is. And
And
I've never
unfortunate for
been
the Jets as well, because I know they were thinking like, wow, we have a Hall of Fame quarterback this year that's
exactly.
leading, and I know his leadership since he's been there has taken the team to another level. And
Absolutely.
so, yeah, it's just very heartbreaking that when you think that you have a level of expectation for your season, and then you lose someone, you know, that impactful so early
Yeah.
in the season.
I
I
mean,
mean, you didn't even get to see what they look like really for real, because he never played in any of the preseason games.
right. Exactly.
So you
So
have
to
no
go
idea
from
what the Jets look like with Aaron Rodgers at the helm at quarterback.
right.
So yeah. So I felt
Yeah,
cheated. I
it's
felt cheated because I was kind of looking forward to, okay, let's see what he's gonna do.
yeah, I think that I just wonder if at his age, with as many years as he has under his belt, what's recovery gonna look like? Is he gonna be able to come back in and play?
What's up, you?
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
know. I don't know if he will or not, but I'm hoping that he does.
I'm hoping he does too. He can't do anything else for like the next 8 months. He needs to just focus on rehab. But I think it's a devastating loss on so many levels.
Oh, absolutely.
Not just for the Jets organization, but the fans who have been looking forward to him playing. And the NFL put in a lot of money pumping up that story. You know, um, and so I think it's a loss on so many different levels that I do hope that he comes back. I
Well,
hope that he's able to play again.
it's going to be it's going to be hard
Yeah,
because if you remember, one of the great quarterbacks, Dan Marino, got that injury at a later age,
hmm
and Dan Marino was out. And that was the last time he played, because
yeah,
they just don't heal as well. Zach Wilson, who was their number one pick, the Jets pick, in a few years ago, and Zach's got to step up now and earn that paycheck that he's truly getting. But
yeah,
you know,
But if I'm Zach, I'm feeling relieved because you lost your position
yeah, but
to a Hall of Famer, and now you get the opportunity to get it back.
well, I
yeah.
look at it as that Zach could learn a lot under Aaron
I know
Rodgers.
I felt that too.
I mean, you can learn a lot of watching a veteran quarterback, his reads that film doesn't show you. It's just a natural gift, and you mimic it. So
Yeah.
and Zach is flamboyant. He's a great kid. He did very well this past weekend, coming back, beating the Buffalo Bills with that defense that turned the ball over. If you play fantasy football, they got 28 points. Not that I play, yes, I do, but fantasy football for 28 points. So if the defense keeps doing what they're doing, Zach's going to be okay, and so is the Jets.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that, hopefully this gives the Jets organization just the players a boost. I'm hoping it motivates them to play even harder this year. I'm not a Jets fan by any stretch of the imagination, but
Yeah,
I like I said, I do hope that he can recover, because
right.
you hate to see someone end their career because of an injury.
Right, and their biggest plus is going to be their defense. The head coach is our defensive coach, yeah, former defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers plug, and um, and that's their biggest plus is going to be their defense, and
Hmm.
like they can still go far and go in the playoffs um, based on their defense, and like you said, he was a plus on offense. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean their defense. What's his name? Found a favorite receiver. And
Ooh, what's his name?
it wasn't oh my gosh, why can't I remember the kid's name from
From
Buffalo?
Uh,
Diggs,
The quarterback. Who?
Josh Allen.
Joshua
John
Allen.
Allen. Yeah,
Well, his
he.
favorite receiver was a Jets person last week.
That's what I'm saying. He had one player that had 3 interceptions.
Yes.
So he found a new favorite receiver, just having to be on the wrong team.
Right. So that's
But even that is pretty incredible, to have one player have 3 interceptions in one game is, that's not an easy feat. But
Mm-mm.
yeah, I think that um, I was they had was it RG3 on one of the shows this week, and he was just talking about his injuries, and you know, I I don't even know how many downs RG3 played. I mean, it seemed like every time he hit the field, he was injured.
He got injured. Yeah,
oh. Well,
So,
it comes, a lot of time it comes around quarterbacks don't get touched.
yeah.
unless you're a black quarterback. Oh, my bad. Did I say that on the air?
It's all right.
Right.
This our show. We can say what we want.
Yeah, they get hit a lot. But, quarterbacks don't get hit. And these are grown men benching 400 pounds, going full speed, running 4.5s, 4.6, 4.7s, and most people look at that injury of going back to Aaron Rodgers. It was just a fluke injury. If did you see the video of his calf? Y'all didn't see? Oh my gosh! It was like you saw the muscle move up on his leg. I mean, it's on YouTube. It was. I mean, because you had to really look. Because most people just saw him pull him down. You looked at his. If you look at his, I think it was his right that he hurt, or I could be wrong, but I mean, you saw it just pop up. I was like, wow,
Mm.
So
I don't think I
that's
want to see that.
I don't think I want to see that either.
so
That was
I
like when
really,
Dak
I really
broke his
hate.
leg and his foot was like this. I was like,
Yeah,
ugh.
I hate seeing injuries, like bad.
Yeah, I did
I
too.
just can't. I just don't like that. But all right. So we got the Jets now. Alabama.
Ooh, wee. I
And let me tell you something. It
I don't
wasn't
know if
like
I don't know if I like the quarterback or not.
I feel
He's
like
not what
he
we're used to.
no, he's not what Bama is used to, and he doesn't have the greatest vision either. He doesn't see the whole field. Um, And so some of the passes that he made, I was like, why would you throw that ball? Who did you see? But it's my dad and I were watching the game, and my dad was like, "Those Bama fans are crazy. They're gonna be calling for his head this week." Now, you know, I just and it wasn't like Texas just got lucky. They outplayed Bama quite a bit during that game. And there were some great coaching adjustments made as well. And I think that top from the top down, Bama just got outplayed that game
which is unusual for a Nick Saban team.
at home, nonetheless.
Well, one of the things that took place is you got to remember every Nick Saban wins against his former coaches, ladies. He does,
Yeah,
but he doesn't blow them out. They know his tendency. This head coach at Texas he was once an Alabama assistant coach, and
yeah,
he's a defensive coach. So tendencies are tendencies. Um, I think today I made a comment to somebody, and I said, "Well, when you're a defensive coach or an offensive coach, you don't change very much, even though your staff change, because the kids has got to know what they're doing. So you can't change your whole offense because your staff leaves. And
right.
uh, and right now, Alabama just don't have, as one of the former Alabama players said, they don't have that dog instinct right now. They are very finesse, which is unusual for Roll Tide. And I think I can't remember the last time Alabama was ranked number 10th in the nation
This early in the
this early
season.
in the
It's
season.
early,
Yeah.
yeah. But I do
Yeah,
I do like what Saban said, and it's quintessential Nick Saban, right? Everybody's chiming in, everybody's talking, everybody has an opinion. And what did Saban say? Who said what? They said what? I haven't heard anything. I'm not paying attention. I haven't listened to a talk show. I haven't read a paper. I haven't seen the news. He's not paying any attention to it. And so when you talk about, and I know for a lot of athletes, it's always like you got to have a short memory, right? You got to move on to the next thing, the next play. You can't let what happened this last play impact you for the next play. Saban is living and breathing that right now. Like I'm not paying any attention to what anybody has to say. And he literally said, other people's opinions really, it's of no consequence to us, right? We we
right.
still gonna go out here next week and beat Alabama football.
Well, I agree with that, but as a former player and as a coach, okay, Saban may not hear it, but those young 22, 21, 20-year olds, 19-year olds, they're hearing it. They're hearing it from former players. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm listening to ESPN talk radio all day, all week. Today's Wednesday and midweek, and the former players are bad mouthing them big
Mhm.
time because they can. I mean, I don't care what anybody say. If you're a former player, if I have a comment about UK, I have the right to say it because I played there. And to my opinion, Alabama right now, the quarterback, going back to him, to me, is Alabama always were a run team. And the quarterback, if you watched him during the game, he wouldn't set up in the pocket. He'd just take off and run. He didn't have much. He didn't. I know 6 or 7 times in the game, he didn't have pressure. He made pressure himself because he's a running quarterback. And Terry just said Alabama don't have a running quarterback. They have a throwing quarterback that can run.
Yeah.
And so right now he's a runner first because I mean he takes off
He
running
does
and
take off.
their defense. I mean
I thought the secondary was horrible.
I mean, but the problem is the defense is the problem because I mean, or 6 third down conversion Texas had 6, third and 5, third and 9, third and 12. What was she? You know, that's not Alabama. That's not Roll Tide. And
Right.
in defense is how Alabama wins. It ain't their offense, because the defense puts them in position to score. The
Absolutely.
defense does.
So what do y'all think about? I mean, I know Cisco, you mentioned that the the players are hearing the noise, right?
Yeah,
Now,
hearing it.
in this article I read, and it was very recent. It just came out today, like a couple hours ago, in fact. He was saying that he has spoken to the players about how to handle, what did he say? Um, like internal excellence or internal standards versus the outside noise. So is that enough? Is it enough to get them focused, or was this something y'all feel was like, yeah, but that might be too little too late because
Well, I don't think it's too little, too late. I think he's trying to, which I do a lot as a coach, and Terry can vouch, is psychocybernetics. He's trying to mentally get them
yeah,
prepared, because the mental part of sports is it. It ain't the physical part. Everybody lifts weights.
It's 80,
yeah,
90% mental.
Yeah, I mean,
everything is
and
mental. Yeah,
everybody lifts weights. Everybody wears Nikes, Adidas, uh, um, FUBU, whoever you're wearing. Everybody wears the same thing. Everybody does everything the same. Everybody's got a nice weight room. Um, Everybody runs heels. And what made Alabama roll tide, Alabama, and let me say this, I'm not an Alabama fan. I'm an SEC fan. They are in the SEC. So I love Alabama because they're in the SEC. I'm UK. But the thing about Alabama is everybody keeps saying they're not Alabama. They are Alabama. The only problem is when you got NIL deals, you don't have to go to Alabama to be known. You can
yeah,
stay home and you can make $1 million staying home. So Alabama now is not the featured school, because now a young man, parents are struggling. They will stay home and get paid instead of going to Alabama. And even though they got a high recruiting, but they don't have those dollars. So I think Saban is trying to mentally get his babies, because they're babies,
yeah,
trying to get,
absolutely.
trying to get his babies to play like Alabama,
Hmm.
not, play everything like Alabama. And, to, what do you think?
I think it's kind of like even with us. So we have, even with our team in middle school, we have a certain, we want to play fast. We're having a hard time with getting them, this group to do what we do. And so
Hmm.
sometimes it just gets like that. I think Coach Saban has probably just got a bunch of kids. He graduated a lot. A lot go to the NFL, but eventually, but a lot, what Cisco said was right. Now everybody else is competing, and
Yeah,
I'll talk about just Texas alone. Okay, so when COVID happened and they were trying to shut football down, right? Texas was one of only 3 schools that would have been able to still be able to financially continue, because football does not finance 80% of everything in their school,
mm,
right? And so now with NIL and stuff like that, like you said, you just don't know. They're Shark. I call him Shark, Sarkanian. He's able to be more just as competitive, because now the boosters or whatever are able to do more because they
yeah,
already have the resources. At Texas,
That
a lot of school. I mean, they probably got more resources or just as much as Alabama does, because they were able to be sustainable without football. They were one. I think it was Texas, Georgia,
yeah.
which is the #1 school, right? And I forgot what the third one was, but those two both stood out to me, because there was only 3
Was it
schools in the whole
Northwestern?
United States that could be sustainable if they would have shut down football.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and going back to your question, I think Saban, to me, when I watched this team, I didn't see like Terry said, playing
fast, or
I mean, what makes Alabama difference is it's not 9 of their players playing fast.
Everybody.
It's
And
everybody.
then backups come in, they play fast.
Yep.
And people don't understand, if you don't play fast, then there's a problem. You got to play fast. Everything you do, especially in college.
Especially in the SEC.
And then Texas, like everybody, they were yelling SEC. Texas was. It was cute. But they're not in the SEC. See, they don't have to come back next week and play LSU. They don't have to come back. I mean, people in Texas, I know we're not broadcasting in Texas, but a fact, you can talk as much mess as you want to.
Because who's in the Big 12?
I don't care. Okay, you can talk as much mess
my point
you want to, but playing in the SEC is, you can't say I'm gonna circle this game. You got to circle all of them. Like I go to the university.
True.
I took University of Kentucky last year. The number 1 team in the nation last year was Georgia. Who played them the toughest?
Was Kentucky.
They were a play away of beating them.
Yes,
last year.
They should have beat Georgia last year.
And that's the difference in the SEC, because when Texas finally gets in the SEC, you're going to play Alabama, then get yourself up next week to play LSU, Georgia, Texas, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Mississippi,
Florida,
South Carolina, Tennessee,
Arkansas. Yeah, because
it's tough.
You're always going to play a top 25 team at least 3 or 4 of your games.
Yeah.
At least, because the SEC dominates the top 25, right? And then when it's time for bowl season, you got to think, SEC always has 8 teams, 8 teams or more in bowl games at the end of the season.
Right. So let me ask y'all this from a coaching perspective, and I know that y'all are not coaching at the collegiate level, but how do you prepare your team for those back to back challenges? How do you from and it may be, and not maybe, but I understand that a lot of it has to do with coaching style, right? How you coach your team, how you lead your team. But for you two, especially as a husband and wife coaching team, how do y'all look at that preparation? Y'all are laughing.
Stupid. Go ahead, man. You can answer that.
I know. It's like it's probably the same at every level. Like even at the middle school level where we are preparing our kids, the number one, the game is mental.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you got to get out of all of, if I'm on the college level, my kids aren't on there. It would be hard for them to be on social media because people are so brutal and disrespectful. And I pray to God that Ty never looks at any of the comments and stuff, even the stuff that's positive.
Yeah.
Because I've already want to take my earrings off a couple times just with some of the foolishness and the ignorance, because you got people that will never, you have people that will never good enough to step out on the field given their opinion. Right. And so what you have to do is you got to block out all the distractions. And like you said, you got to get rid of, you got to have short-term memory when it comes to the last game. And now you got to prepare for the next game, right? No matter whether it's a good game, you might have blew them out and it was a good game and you had the best stats, you still kind of got to move on and you got to prepare for the next game. Because that's what, you just have to do that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're good. But answering, from my opinion, your question, I think you just have to go a turtle moment. You really got to go one play at a time, and you have to one individual. And now players has got to make players accountable for their action. If we go back to Alabama, because right now we're not used to seeing in the last 10 years
Alabama losing this early.
This early, and I mean, even if you're an Alabama fan, you're still going, wow.
Especially to a non-conference
and then
school.
you forget that Alabama is a name. Those are not the same kids that's playing for Alabama
last
all
year.
those years.
Right.
Those kids are
That's
gone.
true.
Those babies are in the pros or
Yeah, the last
business.
the last four quarterbacks are all starting in the NFL right now.
And the thing about Alabama to me that I found very fascinating with is nobody, I don't care what they do. Alabama go 0-10-1. They're still Alabama because they've earned the right to have moments. And when they have moments, everybody jumps on the negative bandwagon at Alabama. You know, if you really want to, you know, in sports, it's about reloading, but trying to find the person. And I used to say this about Duke basketball when Coach K coached. The reason why Duke kept winning, he always recruited the same guys that looked like the guys that graduated. They played the same way every year. And if you don't get that guy, because even last year with Alabama's football team, everybody dogged them. They didn't make the national title. Does people realize that they were 2 plays away from going undefeated? Because both times the 2 losses they had was with minutes
left in the game. At the end of the game,
they almost were undefeated. Yes, I mean they're still Alabama, even losing to Texas. Okay, fine, they lose to Texas. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Right.
They're still Roll Tide. I mean, let's not get it twisted. They're a $1 billion company with $1 billion athletes and the whole 9 yards. I just want to go to, if I can, ladies, the top. Georgia is ranked number 1, Michigan, Florida State, and that's the school right now, guys. I don't know if y'all know that Florida State team. Wow, I mean, their mother's got some athletes everywhere. They got centers pulling. They got guards pulling. The guards running 4.6. That's a Damani Dawson.
That's unheard of. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a Damani Dawson stuff.
It's actually ridiculous to be that big and run a 4.6.
Yes, that's it. And then you have Texas and USC, and that takes us to Colorado. You see how I said towards Colorado, because eventually they got to play USC. And then you have Ohio State at 6, Penn State, Washington, Notre Dame, and then Alabama is 10, Tennessee, Utah, Oregon, LSU, and then you have Kansas State, Oregon State, Ole Miss. Colorado is ranked 18th, and I'm gonna stop there. Ladies,
what were they last week? 22.
Prime time.
What were they? 22 last week? The first week? I think they were top 25, but
I'm gonna say it again.
I think they were, but they were at the bottom of the top 25.
That's what I'm saying. I think they were like 22, 23 last week.
Before the season started, they was ranked 199.
I know. I know. But how about this? How about when it came to betting, right? So I was listening to another show, and they were talking about how before the season started, it was like 600 or something, like some ridiculous number, right? Their odds of winning. Then after the first game, it had jumped to like 80. And then after, I don't know if it was like the first quarter of their last game or something ridiculous, it was like 16-1. And so, and I think about that because I think about Deion's last post-game interview. Not the last one, but after the first game. And he looked at the reporter and said, "Do you believe?" And the reporter was like, "Believe what?"
Right.
And Deion was like, "Nah, you don't believe. You don't believe." But it's interesting to me to even listen to the commentary around Colorado football because Deion has said it. Shador, Shiloh, Travis Hunter, they've all said it. We were doing this last year at Jackson State. We didn't change nothing. Nothing changed. We're literally the same team that was whooping on folks at Jackson State.
I disagree.
But
They're not the
What
same
y'all
okay,
team
think?
that was at
What do y'all
Jackson
think
State.
about
with
that
all
though?
due respect, with all due
They are
respect,
not the same team.
okay, but with all due
What
respect,
he switched over 67 players.
67. But with all due respect, he brought those guys in because he knew they can play at this
Absolutely.
level.
At this level. Yes.
And what people have a problem is this is the SEC, Pac-10, Big Ten, everything. They always went after those players that came from Jackson State, Grambling, and all that back in the day, and they promised them more things. What happened with the what's it called?
The Pac-12.
No. Where Jackson State plays in
The SWAC.
the SWAC conference. What happens with their conference, if people don't remember, is them playing a game. Grambling and somebody played a game
Southern.
at Southern. Was it Southern?
I think it was Southern.
At Yankee Stadium. It was sold out. A team from the South, the black schools played at Yankee Stadium, and it got sold out. And then Nebraska, Kentucky, Alabama, Georgia
started
recruiting them. Because if you remember back in the day, I don't know why people are shocked. Where did Walter Payton come from? Thank you.
Hello.
Where did Jerry Rice come from?
Come on.
They all. I mean, where did what's the man on TV?
Shannon
Sharp.
Yeah.
No, the one that does Good Morning.
Michael Strahan.
Oh, Michael Strahan.
There's lots of them, and I'm not naming all of them, but they came from those same HBCU schools. Because where did you start recruiting? You went there. The reason why they don't realize it, they're still the same players. So that's what Deion said. They're still the same players.
They were just at an HBCU.
Right. Because if you didn't give them what you give them in HBCU schools, can financially give them the same type of food, clothing, dorm rooms, they would go there. But everybody wants the best. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what you want. I mean, and that's what they did when those two teams played at Yankee Stadium back in the day. They said, look, this is what we can give you. We can give you a food voucher. You're going to eat steaks. You're going to eat, what?
We got the pools and all the other facilities and stuff or whatever.
Look at our weight room.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. And I don't care if you black, green, purple, orange. It don't matter. We want nice things.
And I just remember Coach Prime's reaction when he first walked into Colorado's facility. Just how in awe he was.
Yeah,
from the
absolutely.
difference from what he had at Jackson State compared to what they already had it all
but
set up.
Understand what you just said. What they had at Jackson, because he's rich. He's a millionaire.
Yeah.
So he's seen the best of the best.
Yeah.
But what that said is when he was thinking in his mind of comparison. That's just, I just think that all I know is I got to get me a Colorado shirt. I don't know about anybody.
We're Colorado. We're on the Colorado bandwagon over here in T. Bryan.
We was at Jackson State.
Oh yeah, Jackson State. We were on the prime time bandwagon. I'm not even gonna lie.
Okay, can I say this real quick? Somebody asked me again. People ask me questions. I said, let me tell you. Going back to Nick Saban. Nick Saban can say whatever he wants to, but these babies got to buy in. Primetime can say whatever he wants to. Primetime don't play. The babies play. And every one of those kids, those babies, has bought in to everything he said. That's why they're performing on the field. Because Primetime can say what he wants to.
Right.
But if they don't buy in, and if you go back to like our team, if our whole team, not 80% of them, 80% of my team, our team, if you will, right? They bought in to everything we say.
But we got a 20%.
We got about 15% of them hasn't bought all the way in.
Yeah.
So we haven't hit that moment. Prime, if that man ain't 98%, that's bought
Listen,
in.
and that's just the team, right? Now the fans, the alumni, and all of them, they they they
They're
are
all in.
below,
No,
and
no,
they
but he said that they would be.
and they're right, but people still doubt it, right? People still
Yes.
have their doubts. They still had criticism. He can't win. Even Rule said you can't build a team off the transfer portal.
But he
That's
just
not
did.
true.
But he just did.
But I
But
don't know
that's
why
what I'm
people say
saying.
that.
How can you
So
not be okay? This is the thing about the transfer portal.
the
Okay.
transfer portal is where we are, right? And I think that to me it was just a shot, right? Like, you didn't believe in him anyway. You don't believe in his coaching ability. You don't believe that he's a good recruiter. You don't believe in the system that he's built. You think that he's just this loudmouth black man who's running his mouth all the time, saying this and saying that, right? So you got proven wrong. And yes, you absolutely can build a team off of a transfer portal. That's what it's there for. But I also think that it speaks even volumes to how, as a leader, you get people to buy in. And it's not, you can't, yes, you can get people excited by talking, right? But your actions is what really get people on board. And Prime knew that going into Colorado. He knew.
I just thought he did a good. I thought he did a good job. If I'm a brand new coach, and I have to revamp my whole. I mean, they were one in whatever. They won one game last year. So can nobody play? So you had some type of evaluation, initial evaluation to see what y'all had to work with, and he said this ain't getting ready to work. Right. So he gave those ones the opportunity that they already knew off the bat that they weren't going to play. So they immediately jumped into the transfer portal. Okay.
Yep.
So then when you look in the transfer portal, you go look. Okay, so we got
Right.
we got two kids from Kentucky that are at Colorado. We got Cavassier Smoke, we got Vito Tisdale, and they both was bad at UK. Cavassier was a running back.
Yeah, and
Tisdale was a safety.
Yeah, you know he went to the Bowling Line Purples.
We know.
Okay, he's a purple.
Okay. You know, and so they went into the portal, but they weren't scrubs.
No, they
weren't scrubs when they were here. So what you're doing is you're looking at their evaluation, you're seeing what they did at their other school, and you're like, okay, well, what? And then you have a conversation with them with why did you want to leave, or why are you in the portal, to find out what's the underlying reason on why you wanted to leave, and find out what their reason for leaving is, if it's legit or they just what, a lot of kids, and I learned this, was that are in the transfer portal are homesick.
Yeah.
And just want to get closer to home, because they don't realize that moving away so far away from home, they lose that support system. And sometimes we as Black parents or whatever, we want to support our kids, but the reason why they got a full ride scholarship is so that they can get a free education. So if you're spending thousands of dollars on plane tickets, I know it's not free.
It's labor.
Okay, but if you're spending thousands of dollars on plane tickets and hotels, traveling, food, Ubers, and all that stuff to support your kid, they may as well have went someplace close to home so that you wouldn't have to spend all that money, right? That's part of the transfer portal too. But a lot of the kids that are in the transfer portal are not scrubs. There was a reason that they got recruited in the first place.
Yes.
And then things might have changed. There might have been coaches change. There might have been a coaches change, or they might have brought in somebody else. And then when you got in the spring practice, realized that the freshman coming in is better than you, and so you decide to go into the. I mean, there's a number of reasons why.
Nebraska's coach knew that. That's why I said it was just a dig. Like it was just a shot at.
But they gotta say something.
Yeah, they have to. They gotta say something.
but that's the thing is they were more mad at Prime because he got a lot of portal kids.
Yep.
And he got a lot that want to play. And here it is.
And they were
Okay.
and they're good.
They're good. Here it is. If I was coming up right now and I was blessed to play D1 at the University of Kentucky in the SEC and had choices, I chose UK.
Mhm.
But with that said, not having that moment, but with that said, my biggest thing would have been wow, he knows people in the NFL. That's what people don't understand.
Absolutely.
I mean, he is prime time. He knows people. His phone probably got every head coach, every scout. That's the
Come on.
ones you want to know in his
Yep.
phone. So if my aspiration is to play at the third level, the level, I'm
Mhm.
going, I can go here. I'm not happy here, and I can go there, and everybody's going to be because Colorado is making millions of dollars because they're on TV for 3 consecutive weeks.
But I like what you said, babe, because what I'm hearing is you mean I can get Coach Prime to pick up the phone
No, not this
and call Jerry Jones because he's now my coach.
Okay.
To call Jerry Jones because I want to play for the Cowboys or I want to play for the Eagles or I want to play for wherever I want to play on the next level. Okay, in the 49ers, and so we want to go, I want to play on the next level. Why would I not want to go play for Coach Prime, who has a yellow jacket, who played both sides of the ball, who can coach
and can get coached because
yes.
You got Warren Sapp, Hall of Famer himself on your staff. He's got a lot of good coaches. Don't get it twisted. But home household name.
But every week, somebody else is still coming in to speak to the players. Michael Irvin then went through there and had visited. Cordell Stewart came through. Shannon
But it goes back.
Shannon came through. So many people come through because of his relationships with other professional players and Hall of Famers.
Why wouldn't you go?
Why would you not go there if you have an opportunity to go?
Unless you want to stay here, or unless you were like, for example, which I had a lot of schools that recruited me, but I was very disappointed that Georgia didn't recruit me hard because that was the school. Unless you got a school that you always wanted to play at, and I always wanted to play at Georgia. Fact, I did. Just something about Georgia. I don't know why. I saw them on TV, but that's what the babies now are thinking. I always want to play for, because we switch over, not stand, but we switch over to basketball. There are so many students that comes to the University of Kentucky because of their basketball program. Absolutely. Or their football program. I didn't realize that until I talked to them.
But especially for the basketball program.
I've been a fan of basketball forever. And the same thing in playing a game and you become a good player. I've always been a fan of Florida, Kentucky, Nebraska, now in Colorado. I'm a fan of Prime. I live in Atlanta, but when he played for the Atlanta Falcons, I've been a fan of Prime Time. I was a baby. He signed an autograph for me. Now I'm a 4-star. Why wouldn't I go play for him?
Absolutely.
It'd be a dream come true.
I mean, it would be a dream, and I'm not even gonna lie. I was praying Ty's happy at Kentucky.
He's happy.
But if he was to be like, I want to go to Colorado, I couldn't be mad at him.
All I know is we gotta get a second job. They play in California.
They play all over.
Thankful that he's happy at Kentucky, and loves being close to home. So otherwise we could be in trouble because that would be hard to fight. It would be, just like if Alabama would have came calling during the recruiting process. And I remember when the letter came in the mail one time, I wanted to throw it away because I was hoping that it wasn't I think it was an invitation to a camp or something like that or whatever, but it was beautiful. Oh my goodness. when it came here in the mail, but that also let me know that they had him on the mailing list. And I was like, oh Lord, here come Alabama calling. Because if Alabama come calling, it's a wrap. We going to Tuscaloosa.
No, we ain't. No.
He said,
Roll
no, we ain't.
Get your girl.
We was getting ready to be roll tide.
We are U-of-K. U-of-K.
My birth certificate say Alabama, and I got on Kentucky.
We're Kentucky.
And my birth
Let's
certificate
move on.
say born in Alabama.
We're about to have a problem in the household.
No, we not. No, we not.
So again, we said our opinion. What do you feel about that?
I think now I have some opinions. I feel like, first of all, that the players should have been looked at when they were playing at that HBCU. That's my first thought. We have great talent that comes from HBCUs. And I think from looking at, I tend to look at a lot of things from a media perspective because that's what I'm in. And I always find it very interesting to see that the media picks and chooses how they're going to cover someone, right? And the stories that they choose to tell. I always find that interesting. Now, I remember being in grad school and researching even like gender roles and how gender roles impact people's beliefs about women's sports. But I feel like Prime is doing, I feel like he's good for football. He's good for football. He's good for Colorado. He's good for sports. And yes, he's loud. He's very opinionated, but you know,
Don't
but
let my confidence
he's confident.
influence your insecurity.
Exactly. Yep. And so I think that people mistake Black people's confidence for arrogance and our confidence for being a know-it-all. And when you have that perspective about somebody, you gonna miss out on all of the little things that they do to get where they're going. He wasn't given anything, right? He was not given anything. And so when you have a perspective of it's all hype, not knowing what it took for someone to get to where they are, you're missing a whole storyline of how someone has changed not just one atmosphere, but went to another school and changed that atmosphere. And it was funny because people really acted like he went to Jackson State for one football season and then left. It's like, y'all didn't know he had been there before this year? And so listening to some of those commentaries, and then I'm on Twitter and I'm always looking at the comments like, there's no way possible that y'all are watching the games and making these comments.
No, people just want their opinion. And
they want their
think
opinions,
right. And none of them,
they don't care about
never
facts.
Stepped out on the field, don't even come close to his skill set.
But the thing, ladies, his
IQ.
But the reason why people like, if I wasn't already a primetime fan, is because if you remember correctly, with all due respect to Prime, he never won their championship. He got beat every time in the championship game.
He did.
Okay. You are basically judged. Nick Saban is Nick Saban because he's won national titles. He can win 15 games or 12 games or 11 games. The reason why the doubt, to my opinion, it's just my opinion, came because he didn't win the game.
And
And I'm sorry, in the United
I
States
agree.
of America,
I agree.
we're judged. You can get there.
Are we judged by that? Because we haven't won no championship.
Yes, because it's got to be coaching.
It's got to be coaching.
Yeah, I got to give me some new assistant coaches.
Wait a minute. Now, don't worry, Terry.
we
I'm gonna
getting
come down
ready.
there. I got
Y'all
you.
getting ready to see some domestic violence
I'm
on this
come
one
down
right
there.
here.
I'm gonna come down there.
Hey, as the comedians will say, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. You're supposed to laugh. You're not laughing.
But the one thing about
no, she didn't laugh.
She laughed.
It's
But
a joke.
she laughed about it. Kiki, ha ha ha. So one of the things I think I said it. I think it was the last podcast or one before that was I liked the one media issue he had when he had to correct the reporter and was talking about Florida State, and he corrected her, was like, no, I graduated from an HBCU.
Right.
And so when everybody was mad at him about because he was promoting the whole HBCU agenda, he still is promoting it because now he associates himself as an HBCU grad.
Right.
And he makes that crystal clear that no, I did not graduate from Florida State. My degree is from an HBCU.
Right. And I still think it's important, right? I think that it's important for us to share those experiences and things like that, but also to elevate the stories and the voices that come from HBCUs, because unfortunately ESPN don't care. And I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it how
I know that's the reason why there's so many of the Black commentators that have gotten fired because of their controversial some of the controversial commentary that they've mentioned when they've called out some of that stuff.
Yep.
So yeah. He graduated from Fulton. Was Talladega
College.
Talladega College, right? Where's that? Out of Alabama, right?
Alabama. Yeah, they're in Talladega, Alabama.
Yep. I didn't know that. But I don't know. I just think, and she knows I'm about to say something that to me, the problem that I have with HB, here's what I have a problem with.
Wait, you got a problem with HBCU?
Yes, I have a problem. This is my problem. Wait a second.
Oh Lord.
Okay. Both of y'all don't need to give me that look. Now she's right here and you're right here. I don't need that.
She's an HBCU grad.
No, listen.
And she works at an HBCU conference. So of course she's gonna take it personally.
You can't let me finish what I'm gonna say and let me hear me from A to Z.
Okay. Here's
my problem.
I'll give you A to B. I don't know if I can give you all the way to Z, but go ahead.
Okay. Is you don't have to have what every university in D1 has, but you have to give money back to that university. So when I saw what Jackson State players and what they were eating, okay, that's alum money. That's not what they bring in to that university. And you've heard me say that even here in Lexington. Wait a second. If you graduate, if everybody that's graduated from, I used a school when I grew up that I loved and thought I was going to go was Grambling. Okay, because Robinson was there. Okay. In my mind, everybody that graduate, give $1,000. If you graduate from that HBCU school, just give $1,000. You know how much money that is for that school to help with the track field, to help with the football field, to help with the fooding, to help with everything. Upgrading the facilities, the girls' basketball facilities, their uniforms. If everyone that's graduated right now, that's ever graduated from Grambling, from 1,000 down, if you can only afford $50, give $50. But you have to put something back into a program to make young people come to that program. We live in a microwave world in 2023. And I will close because I always leave and let y'all chop it up at the end.
It's the end already?
Yes,
It is.
Oh,
Okay,
my God.
okay. Let me say this. I never will forget coaching football here in Lexington at Bryan Station High School. We were supposed to play, oh God, it just popped out of my head. Shelby County. The head coach, Oliver Lucas, Dr. Oliver Lucas, handed me a program and he said, I need you to look at this. This is their team. I said, whoa, coach, this is last year's team. He said, everybody's returning from their team. They were all juniors last year. I said, wow. In Shelby County, they was building a new school, Collins High School, after former mayor. Was she a mayor? Yes.
I have no idea.
Yeah, governor or mayor. She was one or the other in Fayette County area. If Shelby County's football team would have stayed together, they would have won the state title. Easy. But everybody likes new stuff. Half of their players went to Collins and the other stayed at Shelby County, and they both were 500. My point, if you want to get the players to go to those type of schools and not go to Kentucky, not go to Georgia, not go to Alabama, you have to upgrade what they're going to. You have to. I mean,
so let me chime in really quickly on this important fact, because I don't want it to be lost on what you're saying, because what you're saying is very true. The other side of that coin is that our state, a lot of our HBCUs are land grant institutions, which means
right. I knew that.
they get money from the state. Recent reports have shown just how grossly underfunded HBCU land grant institutions and research institutions are, not because of alumni giving, but because the states are not funding them at the same level. And so I think it's important to understand that part of it as well, because while there is alumni giving, and that's extremely important, I will absolutely never. I mean, even y'all know my story, y'all know what I went through. Even when I didn't have hardly 2 pennies to rub together, I was still giving to Hampton, right? But it bothers me that a school like Tennessee State and oh my gosh, what's the other school that was just recently in the news? I'm having a brain fart here, but the schools in the HBCUs in Mississippi, grossly underfunded. All of them, grossly underfunded. And for what reason? And it goes back to a lot of the laws that were in place where it was intentionally set up so that HBCUs could not get the money.
I'm agreeing. Yes.
So
but I guess
I feel like that's like a whole
but hold on. Let me say this. But that's my point. My point is they're not going to give the HBCU money. They're not. Who is deciding?
All I'm saying is that legally they're supposed to, right?
But they're not, and they've been legally been allowed to get away with underfunding.
An officer legally is not supposed to slam you on the ground. But if there's no consequence, if they do, then who cares? If they're supposed to give you the money.
The only point I was trying to make is that alumni need to give, and they need to give hell too. They need to speak up and
both guys. Yes.
Yep. So I'm agreeing. I'm just saying this.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
They need to give voice to.
They need the voices.
Yep.
Yeah, because I still remember here in Lexington, and I guess I still remember in Lexington when we were in this majority area white, and they were going to get bused to another area that was going to take them a long time to get there, which black are used to that. sitting on the bus for 45 minutes. And all of them went downtown and started complaining. It didn't happen. And like you what you just said, if you a closed mouth don't get fed.
Absolutely.
And what I'm saying is what Dion what did at Jackson State was unbelievable. Oh my gosh. And you was excited about Jackson State. He goes to Colorado. Colorado already has the funding.
Yep.
And all he's doing is bringing in more funding because he's putting them on the map, TV. Because I mean, a lot of 3 weeks in a row,
that they're getting ready to be on national TV again.
That's a lot of money. And so anyway, it's always a pleasure seeing you. And happy anniversary. I heard you singing it. She can sing. I don't know why she didn't time in. She knows the words. So
why you wait, hold on, Cisco. Why you always gotta put her out there though?
Because she can sing. That's my dog. She knows she's my dog. She can sing. And she won't. And I gotta put her out there because I want people to know that this one right here is unbelievable. I mean, she's got talent all over the place.
Somebody send some hearts.
Oh yeah. Don't do that. But I'm just being real, and I always want my baby to shine, and she can, and that's all I want from her is she can lead, I can follow. I'm good with that. And she knows I am. I'm good with that. But you both lovely, strong Black women. I love it, and I got to get off, and if I keep coming on here all the time, we're gonna change that because kind of interesting. It's called what?
Hits and heels.
Yeah, we okay, hit and heels. All right. Because if I keep coming on, we got the heel part. I don't know about that part. I'm just saying. But thank y'all for inviting me on. I mean that. All right. And you be safe, right?
Yep. Always.
All right. Deuces.
Thanks, babe.
All right. And by the way, go Niners.
Go Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Mm-hmm. You better hope our quarterback gets hurt again.
Hey, you look good in that Kelly green shirt, though.
Watch your mouth.
Mess. A mess.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
A mess. I'm going to sit on the floor because my back is hurting.
Oh, man. I know. I'm, man. The hour always goes by so fast.
It goes by so fast.
But I'm excited to be back in action. Like I said earlier, it feels good to get back on the wagon. So yeah, it not only does the hour go by fast, but this first year.
Yeah, because there was a lot that I think I wanted to talk about. We didn't talk about Coco winning the US Open. That was huge. Huge. We didn't talk. Just the first week of college football, the second week of college football, and the first week of NFL. Just the wins and losses. I was shocked to see the Steelers lose the way they did.
The way they lost.
The way they did. You know what I'm saying? The 49ers are loaded. Don't get me wrong. The 49ers are loaded. But I didn't expect them. I didn't expect the Steelers to get their butts whooped like that, though.
I mean, they got tore down.
Hey, they got that butt tapped.
Toe.
At home.
At home. Toe down.
At home.
Terrible.
I mean, I think that was, I don't know, I didn't pay attention, but I think that was probably one of the worst home losses that they've had in a long time.
Yes. That absolutely was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In my lifetime, I don't remember.
And so my thing is I hope that ain't nobody trying to get rid of Mike Tomlin, because Mike Tomlin should get a lifetime contract like Calipari got here at Kentucky. He's gone 15 seasons with a winning record. and he's got
Yep.
what, two Super
Two
Bowls,
Super
babe,
Bowls.
two.
Two.
Yeah, he should get a lifetime contract.
He should. But
But because he just one Super Bowl,
I thought he had two.
I thought he had two. Yeah, but Cisco said he just got one.
Oh,
He was assistant coach with the first one.
He was an assistant coach with the first one.
oh, okay.
Um. Okay, so anyway, it was some other ones too. It was some other topics of that I had wanted to bring up this because it was just it's a good. Oh, so next Saturday is our Hall of Fame,
I know.
and I'm so excited because I was waiting on the
It's a
Vanderbilt
noon
game.
game.
The Vanderbilt game is now at 11 o'clock Central
Oh,
Standard Time.
yeah, it's a noon. Yep, noon.
So I am going to make the tail end. I probably won't make the beginning, but I'm going to at least make the tail end of the Hall of Fame because after the game, I'm coming home, straight home. I'm gonna have everything ready, take a shower. And, matter of fact, I think I'm gonna go get my face beat before the game in Nashville, so that my face will already be
Absolutely.
taken care of, and I can just come straight here and go to the because I've been looking forward to that Hall of Fame since last year,
Yeah,
right? And so
absolutely.
I just hated that they waited so long to tell us because if it had been a 3 o'clock game, it'd have been a wrap. If it had been 7:30, if it had been anything besides this 11 o'clock game, it would have been a wrap. I wouldn't have been able to make it because I'm not gonna miss my baby.
No, absolutely not.
It's 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, but it's 11 o'clock Central Time.
Okay, what time is
Same time, babe.
What time's the ball?
Sir,
What time's the thing? 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
Thank you. It's 10 or
11 o'clock daytime. Right. And so, that'll get me home about 4. No, it won't. It'll get me home like right at 6, right when it probably starts. So I'll probably
Right.
miss like the maybe like the first hour or so. I'm thinking I might miss, depending on what traffic is gonna look like and getting home, taking a shower, and finding a parking space when I get downtown to get
Yeah,
there. But I'm looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it. So um, I'm excited about the Hall of Fame. Matter of fact, I think the ticket sales end this weekend. If y'all haven't got y'all tickets to the Hall of Fame, make sure y'all go here to the gala. If you live in Lexington, because I think tickets, if they're not over with already, I think this Saturday is the deadline because I think it's like a week before that they're going to stop the ticket sales, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then anybody that wants to donate towards scholarships, you can go to layshoff.com. And also, if you want to nominate someone for the 2024 induction, that's already open, and I think that ends on October the 31st. And then
okay.
so the people that are already in there that didn't get selected will still stay in there. Their names will go back into the hat, and then we'll add whoever that comes from now until October, and then we'll do the selection again, next year or whatever, whenever we do it, January, February, sometime like that, and we'll get that in. So we can subscribe to Hits and Heels on our YouTube channel.
Yes, ma'am.
And you can follow
Subscribe.
us on Facebook.
Yep.
And
Follow us
so
on Facebook.
all of you all that have been following us and that have been tuning in, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Today is our 1-year anniversary. I am so excited about that. We've been been going pretty heavy here for a year. That's good stuff.
That
Made
is.
it a year.
Made it a year.
Made it a year. So
Whew.
I'm definitely excited about that. Definitely kudos to us for getting it in for a whole year. I'm trying to think what else before we close out, since we're already 10 minutes over.
Stay tuned. I'm excited. I'm excited for the guests that we are gonna bring on this season. I know every time we bring somebody on, it's like next level. So I've really enjoyed the all the Layshoff guests that have come on, and so I'm just
I
looking
think
forward to
last week was my second or third favorite episode,
yeah,
or at least it was my top five. Was last week's. Last week's was really really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed them. And the work that y'all have put in to make this happen. Um, hey, Nicole, thank you. um, the work that y'all have put in to make that happen is amazing. So I've loved to hear all the background stories of um, the teamwork that's been involved in making this happen. I think it's amazing. So definitely kudos to y'all for the work that you do to honor people that otherwise would not they wouldn't be honored.
They wouldn't be
And
honored.
and
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 then we got a
for a
couple
lot
people
of them
that when we do
their
honor
stories
them,
wouldn't even be told. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
People wouldn't even know who they are. And when you listen to the amazing things that they've done, it's like, how have they flown under the radar for
Because like
so
Christian Note,
long?
we brought him in. He's like the third leading tackler scorer. I can't remember one of them at
Hmm.
Kentucky. And after we nominated him, then now Kentucky wants to put them in there. But why
Yeah,
wasn't he already in y'all's?
that's what
Oh,
I'm saying.
y'all forgot about him until we brought him to your attention?
It's crazy.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Nicole Lockett is one of my players for the Derby City Dynamite. Shout out Derby City Dynamite. For those of y'all, I coach a women's tackle football team. So we got to get so one of my episodes that I want to do, I was just talking about this today to somebody, I can't remember who I was talking to. Danny, is we got to get Nicole on. So Nicole was a captain for an international team, and I think she's a captain again for another one coming up, and I think in February. And so she led the defense. I mean, set the tone for the defense um, to win the game against this to win the international game. They brought the trophy home, and then the defensive coordinator is Coach Dirty, Coach Marlene Davis, was female defensive coordinator.
Mhm.
And then another one of my players, Jadea Walker, she also got invited to go. But another one of my players won the offensive MVP.
Oh,
So I
nice.
want to bring them. I want to
Yeah,
bring them
absolutely.
four on and just talk about the whole. Because I think October 14th is National Tryout Day for the WFA for the league
Okay.
for the women's league. So we're looking for if you are on here and you're not from Kentucky, find your local women's tackle football team. There's probably one near you. You probably just don't know about it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, you probably just don't know about it. You probably you'll probably be surprised. I think if you
Yep.
go to what is it, WFA Pro? I forgot the website. WFA Pro. I think it's WFAProFootball.com. I
ProFootball.com.
think is the website, and you can look up to see where all the different teams are for
Yeah.
the win. But anyway, I'm so excited for Nicole. I'm very proud of her. She's transferring her body. Oh my God, she has committed to the off season, and that's what we needed. I needed my vets to commit to an off season regimen, to transform their bodies, to get in shape, to come back faster and stronger and better than last year, so that we get back into this championship game at the Hall of Fame field in Canton. So we're looking forward to that. And I think that's about all I got. You know me. Them my two
Right.
babies.
I know it.
The,
I
the
know it.
Hall of
So
Fame.
Nicole, thank you so much for hopping on. She's consistently hopped on and supported us. So we definitely appreciate you. And like Terry mentioned, make sure that you head over to youtube.com/@ hits and heels. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that we can start to monetize this thing. We got some work to do, but we need your help. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, follow our Facebook page so you can get those notifications when we go live and when we post. And if you or someone you know wants to be a guest, make sure you hit us up at hello@hitsandheels.com. That's hello@hitsandheels.com. Well, for our anniversary show, I'm your girl Danny. That's my girl Terry. And this is Hits and Heels. Thank you so much for joining us and for all your support over the last year. And we will see you next Wednesday, September 20th. Same time, same channel, same awesome sauce. And we out. I'm about to go finish my dinner.
We out. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all so much.